Well, here we are then, everyone. This is where the tournament really starts to pick up pace. We are in our winners semi-final, and we have two teams on our stage, the only two teams who have managed to secure a major trophy this year. On one side of that stage, we have defending world champions in FaZe Clan. The other team on the other side of the stage, Spacestation Gaming, winning 3 out of the 4 majors we've had this year. This is set up to be an absolute banger.
It really is. This is the type of series that we came for here. As you said, everything's starting to heat up here. And FaZe versus SSG is going to be your first heavy hitter matchup in the winners semis here. King of the Hill Solitude game number 1.
And if you saw those map mode records a little bit earlier on that graphic, you'll see that it's pretty close when it comes to who is favorite in this series. But if it does go to that game 5, we heard from Tony on the desk, FaZe Clan's record in those games in game 5s, it's superb, it's unblemished. So if we go the distance, then FaZe will have that opportunity, but they've got to go through Spacestation. We're going to learn so much from this series.
We really are. Specifically, of course, we know what SSG has been capable of this season, and we also know what they did in Salt Lake City and the way that they did it. The big question in this series, as Bound grabs the opening camo, is what version of FaZe do we have here at the Halo World Championship as they look to defend their title?
A team that is so often seen as the bar, as the level, as the measuring stick in the Halo Championship Series, now finds themselves up against the measuring stick of this season. The team, like I mentioned, who has won 3 out of the 4 majors so far. Early on in this game, though, it is going to be the team that I'm talking about, Spacestation Gaming, who have the majority of this hill time. Almost half the bottom hill has been captured by SSG.
Impressive opening hill. They also outslayed by just a narrow margin here, 7-5 off the opening break. Lqgend looks to continue to get some creative angles, but like you said, that 50% progress on the opening hill, that's going to give them a bit of cushion here to try to make the opening play to finish it off.
Frosty going to try and flank through the flowers here. Lqgend, who has had quite the weekend already so far, the regular season MVP. Sent him a little message last night. He said he'd trade everything in for a Halo World Championship, and you can understand exactly why that would be. Spacestation now, though, they find themselves 3 dead, and FaZe, for the first time in this game, have managed to wrestle a little bit of control on sitting in that hill.
Yeah, they also tie up in the Slay category. Very nice answer back from FaZe. As we said, it was about 50% progress on the side of SSG on Hill 1. That has not changed. FaZe has gotten some nice kills on the board and even added a little bit of hill time here.
Now trying to escape here and manages to do so for just a second, but Renegade will come out in the battle of the 2 players who have always had a few words about each other in the 1v1 in and around flowers. 2 dead on either side at the moment, as that camo is about to come up in around 5 seconds time as well. We have part 2 of Renegade versus Bound. This time, no conclusion.
Still progress on the board here for SSG. FaZe needs to make the play. All 8 players are up. They need the kills. The opening break comes in favor of Renegade.
Usually FaZe are so good at timing these pushes and making sure that the kills are picked up at just the right second, but there's Lqgend. He wins the 1v1. Now FaZe have the camo, and SnakeBite has it in his hands. The only issue is that FaZe now find themselves with just SnakeBite alive. He deals with the hill player. Lqgend is going to jump in, and I think FaZe are going to have to give this one up. SSG will strike first, as they will catch up bottom middle.
SnakeBite knew even if he dropped down there, he was going to be taken down in the end. He throws his head back just a bit. Tried to do whatever he could. He knew he couldn't stop the hill. He was then going to try to stay alive to try to maybe get a little bit of a better push in the end. He still gets taken down. It was 3 dead for FaZe.
3 dead for FaZe on the rotate as well, so the camo got taken out immediately on that rotation to the next hill. The following players were followed up upon in almost the next few moments themselves. Lqgend trying to double stack in and around this hill with Eco at the moment to provide him with a little bit of cover, but not having the advantage in the kills. SSG just biding their time, letting FaZe come to them. A Bound with a double kill. Frosty about to fall as well. It's 3 dead again for FaZe, and Spacestation are holding strong.
And just like that, it's a massive slaying lead as well. Spacestation outslaying 21-14. An entire 30% more kills on the board so far this game.
Fantastic hold on this second hill coming in from SSG so far, but Royal 2 has found himself a power weapon here. The shock rifle is in his hands. FaZe may be thinking about one more push. Renegade's jumping up to top gold. Footsteps being held by Royal 2, but it's going to be a trade. That means the shock is down. And SnakeBite will be last alive. He'll be dealt with as well. Bound will get that final kill. As the last alive, he will also secure this second hill. And Spacestation will find themselves 2 to the good.
And speaking of Bound, take a look at his numbers right now. He's 10-4. No one else in the game has even crossed the 6 kill mark on either team. And he's already on double digits here. Spacestation off to a 2-0 lead.
3 minutes left in this game. Plenty of time here. No thoughts, I think, at this point for SSG to play time. So much of it left to elapse in this game. Camo coming up as Bound picks up a big kill himself. Royal 2 will keep SnakeBite alive. hoping that camo comes back. Eco's trying to hunt him down, but SnakeBite does get away. It's the second camo in a row now, going over to FaZe Clan.
And nicely done. We'll see what SnakeBite can do with this camo. It's been a very good power control for them, as you say. However, no hills on the board just yet.
Lqgend being a nuisance. Gonna be flushed out here. Complete map control is in the favor of FaZe Clan for now. However, it's Spacestation, who still have the majority of the hill time. Wow. Rotate! There's SnakeBite though with a double. Lqgend last alive. It's gonna be 3 dead for SSG.
Really nicely done by SnakeBite. Leave it to him with the camo, of course. In the previous time we saw him with that, really not much he could have done with that situation. However, this time with just a little bit of better timing and help around him, he's able to turn that into some big progress in terms of this third hill.
SnakeBite working with Renegade so well there, and the rest of FaZe starting to pick up the pieces as well. There's Royal 2, there's Renegade, there's 4 Spacestation members in the black screen for now, as FaZe answer back here, starting to find a little bit of momentum on this third hill.
Big control here coming out of SnakeBite. He hasn't left Snipe Tower in what feels like minutes of play, and as you can tell, it has translated on the scoreboard as well, just about 10% left.
Just got a little bit of info there as well. You saw Bounce head look up for just a second. And now FaZe, after capping this hill as well, are pushing forward almost immediately. It's 3 dead for SSG. And take yourself back a few moments. After that first hill, it was SSG who capped and then managed to pick up the slaves on their way to the next hill. FaZe are doing exactly the same thing right now as they transition to driveway.
Could not agree more. It's been a very different past few minutes compared to the opening of the game for FaZe, and they look like they are right back in this game. We'll see if they can keep controlling here one dead each side.
StelluR stays alive, but SnakeBite will be in position to grab a little bit of hill time here. They'll be re-challenged though by StelluR. Couple back, the thrust is going to be enough to get the trade. A killing spree, which has been pretty much the signal for things to turn good for FaZe in the last few moments coming in from SnakeBite, but the trades make this push a little bit more dicey on both sides. Camo coming up in 5.
Amazing to watch that entire spree from SnakeBite's POV. That was just a clinic of how you play this game, how you use a power-up, how you play patiently as well. Let's see where this next power-up goes.
SSG have control of the inside of the map, but they're losing a couple of players. Control is one thing, picking up the slays is another, and somehow Frosty comes out of that battle not just with the kill, but with his life as well. Camo should be secured here, and Renegade will pick it up once again for FaZe.
Has to be mentioned, FaZe Clan was being outslayed 26-17. They are now outslaying 40-35. It is an unbelievable slaying comeback. It might also be a King of the Hill comeback as well if they can secure this hill and tie the game 2-2.
Not just the camo here for FaZe as well. SnakeBite's got the shock rifle. Lqgend gonna find out the Renegade. He's got a battle rifle in his back pocket as well. It's 2 dead for SSG once more as Renegade takes over. Picking up a little bit of hill time. But now he turns his attention to Bound, using that camo to his most effectiveness at the moment, making sure he's the player furthest forward to pick up these kills.
Good fall from Renegade. Look at this, especially if he gets this kill as well. There's a lot to talk about what he's just done. World 2 has the help. That's not an easy nade in yard on the palm tree. It's a beautiful nade. He also doesn't take any nade damage, and look at the hill progress as well.
That was a big thing I wanted to point out here. The slays are going the way of FaZe. The map control is in the favor of FaZe for the last few minutes, and the hill time is coming alongside it. Keep your eye on that efficiency. We are going to keep beating that drum, because that is the only thing that stops FaZe in these big moments. It's 3 dead on the side of Spacestation momentarily. It turns into a 2v2 as Bound will find Renegade to trade in and around that driveway. 4 dead for SSG. Last player alive is going to be SnakeBite, and he should be in position to secure this hill.
Look at the way SnakeBite and Renegade played that there at the BR. Beautifully done. They make sure they don't trade both of them, and they're able to get the second hill as well. What a comeback, what a swing from FaZe in the late game.
All of SSG have rotated and stacked over to that snipe side though. Camo's going to be coming up again, and it's been FaZe who have controlled that power up for the majority of this game. Lqgend gonna have his shields broken here. SnakeBite follows it up as well, a little bit of a pre-shot around that corner. Knowing that Lqgend was gonna have to poke at some point. He could get to one himself, but the time, look at the time on this snipe side hill. FaZe have been picking up kills, but they haven't been able to break into a position to flip those spawns around and get inside of that hill, deny Spacestation that time.
Somehow SnakeBite stays alive, and more importantly, Royal 2 comes away with the camo. Continued camo control coming in. Let's see how Royal 2 plays this.
Now we're seeing those spawns start to be flipped. Eco gets taken down. The camo's still effective here. Lqgend is going to take a little bit of damage, but can't find Royal 2. The camo being used once again to its full effectiveness here, and FaZe have SSG 2 dead once again. It might be 3 in a few seconds time, but look at the time. Look who's in this hill, as unfortunately it looks like FaZe might have lost a few members in this game, or we will have a technical pause, but we will be tied up at 2-2.
Whoa, unbelievable.
Catch your breath.
You see a shake of the head there from Royal 2 there. My God, that game went absolutely out of control in what you thought might have been a runaway victory for Spacestation. As I said, they were outslaying 26-17, end up 2-0. And instead, at the point of the reset, FaZe was outslaying 55-45, and we were tied at 2-2. Has to also be mentioned the kills that we saw coming in from several FaZe members there. We talked a lot about how Bound was the first to be on double digits. Not far behind him, Bound at the end of the game there was 18 kills. SnakeBite and Renegade both on 16, and with significantly less deaths than him. Huge, huge plays from both Renegade and SnakeBite.
Really big swing started for FaZe when SnakeBite went on that killing spree. Managed to just get control of that camo and put it to use. They not only won that third hill, but of course won the rotate for the next hill as well to flip those spawns and make sure that they were going to force Spacestation have to push from the areas they really didn't want to push from on that map. A little bit of a quiet one for StelluR in that first game that we've seen by his own standards, 9-15 for him. But a lot more Halo to be played in this series, and you know a player of that quality, of the standard that he is, he's going to have a big impact at some point in this series.
Absolutely is. And I got to say, for FaZe fans, we take a look at some highlights from the game so far. For FaZe fans, I think the latter half of what we just saw is going to be very encouraging. I think there was a lot of reason for concern coming into this series, and there was a lot of reason for concern after the first two hills. However, FaZe dug deep, and let's just talk about that killing spree from SnakeBite as well that we saw on screen. It was amazing disciplined camo control. It was amazing teamwork, the way he was able to hold down posters and hold down S2 for the entirety of that hill. And in the end, is able to even get a lot of teamwork here. By the way, fantastic work from our observers and production team all the way to keep us on POVs on the hill as we're getting ready for rotates. I love this play from Renegade as well, the way he was holding down yard, and just fantastic teamwork all around from FaZe on these last two hills. Here specifically, that's not an easy nade. It's even harder in H5. And then it doesn't take damage, able to lock down yard this entire time. FaZe, it feels like they just woke up.
Yeah, I think they were certainly, I think waking up is one way to put it, and it's the correct way to put it, but there's certain series that you can't really prepare for until you're into them, right? These two teams don't scrim against each other a huge amount. It's the same if you add Optic into that conversation. The only real practice they have against each other is the online tournaments, which is a best of 3 sometimes, best of 5 at best, and they don't like to play each other to give away the strategy and how they want to approach these big series in these big tournaments, these Halo World Championship tournaments. So sometimes it is going to take just a second for both teams to settle, to recognize patterns of play from each other. And even though SSG came out of the gate so hot there, going up by 2, you're starting to worry a little bit about FaZe. FaZe adjusted very quickly and managed to answer back almost immediately with those next 2 hills. So we are set up for a great series here. We knew this coming into this event, and keep in mind as well, this is a winner's semi-final. The next match, whoever wins this one, is a place in the winner's final. And we always say, outside of the grand final, most important series of the entire event, because you can gain that series advantage should you win that and go into the grand finals.
Without a doubt here. Also hearing from station referees that it will be a full replay here in game number 1. Both teams agreeing to a full replay rather than starting from 2-2, which is going to be interesting. Keep in mind, if we had started at 2-2, you might have seen SSG simply get their same 2 hills off of the opening rotation. However, both teams, I think, just going for a sportsman-like approach and agreeing that at 2-2, you simply replay from that first hill. So that's what we're going to see here in game number 1.
Ain't mad at it.
Not bad. Give me more Halo between these two. While we're at it, while we're making requests, let's go to a game 5 as well. Yeah. Sounds like that was my window to get that.
That's good. Let's just extend the series. Best of. Just make it. How many game types do we have? This keeps going.
A lot. A lot of game types.
More than 5. I'll talk about all of the big names, of course, on both sides of the stage, but this guy's been playing some phenomenal Halo, especially back in SLC in that grand final. I think Eco was rivaling Lqgend for MVP in that tournament. I think that he was playing some of the best. I mean, we've seen some oddball games from Eco where he's been dropping 40 so far this season. Absolutely ridiculous. You could just pick a name on this main stage right now and you can make an argument for being one of the most talented players we have in the Halo Championship Series. But essentially, look into this light, boop, we start again. Forget everything you saw in the last few moments because it will be a full replay here on our main stage in Seattle. King of the Hill Solitude will start once again, a fresh restart and a fresh start to this series.
And no surprise, the eyes are going to be on FaZe. How do they make sure they don't go down 2-0 early on here? How do they make sure what they've learned from the opening strats, they can counter SSG's early 2-0 lead? Because yes, FaZe tied the game. Yes, they took the slaying lead, but it took a Herculean effort to do so. We're underway here in the game number 1 replay.
Starting off with the man who finished the previous iteration, the warm-up to this game. on that hot streak. Renegade get good information of where two players are going to be. You can see he's trying to turn away, trying to avoid people, but it ends up engaging in 2 fights, hitting 2 headshots to pick himself up a double kill. Eco now just trying to survive here on the blue truck.
Ooh, gets tagged by Frosty as well. It's really good damage, really good cover coming in from the entirety of the side of FaZe, and they're already off to a few points on the board. Essentially, both teams exchanging just a few ticks of the hill off the early break.
Frosty with the shock.
Enemy team took the hill.
Ooh, timing is everything. Eco gonna be challenging, gets bodied. SnakeBite cleans that up almost immediately. 2 dead on the side of Spacestation for now, and you're seeing, most importantly for FaZe, that they are immediately inside of that objective, immediately inside of that hill, recognizing that having got the slays, that time is of the essence.
StelluR trying to go right to glass. Frosty was just a second prior, and he had the shock, which of course gives him not just the upper hand, but also the win condition in that one. FaZe is just about 50% of the way done on our first hill, and it's a different opening for them.
Eco playing a little bit of cat and mouse at the moment, you can see, but he's taking some damage, and now Frosty tries to clean that one up with the bandit instead of putting that shot to use. StelluR picks one up on the driveway, but gonna be down to no shields once again. He disappears, Eco's back! Frosty says, I did not forget about you, Eco.
Beautifully done by Frosty, just running the game from glass and really patient, knowing exactly when to pick, when to poke, and pick up the damage that his teammates had done. Frosty staying alive there is everything. If he falls, you got FaZe trapped in Cafe and Yard right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's so important just to anchor the spawn as well. 2 players gonna be no shields in front of him once again. Eco got his head ripped off last time. This time it's body shots, it's 2 dead once again. Legend will fall as well. StelluR is last alive. He's just come off free spawn, and look at the progress. Look at the time here for FaZe. As Frosty relocates, he has had an electric start to this game, yet to die, and still has 4 kills to his name.
Beautifully done here. FaZe is outslaying 15-9, by the way. It's a very different opening for them, especially if he wins this one as well. He does, he gets the help. And continued progress for FaZe as they will continue outslaying by 6.
2/3 of this hill capped, but not the whole thing. Legend gonna be challenging. A little sticky off the wall. Looking for the insta, not gonna find it this time. 2 dead for Spacestation once again. And you have to say, for all of the slaying dominance that's been going down, Spacestation not out of this one quite yet.
Not just yet. FaZe now scoring in a dangerous position though, because they still have numbers on the map. This could be the final ticks of the first hill.
There's 2 dead though. Eco's gonna be down to no shields. He knows he has to try and take this battle. Frosty backs down, knowing that he does not, and FaZe will cap this bottom middle hill. They're up 1-0.
Absolutely electric start from them. They look like a very different team, and honestly, picking up where they left off from the initial start of this game here when we were tied 2-2. They take the first hill, and quite a lot of game time comes off of the clock during that first hill. That's worth noting, because we could really come back to take a look at the game clock in just a few minutes of time.
Frosty is still yet to die in this game, by the way. Shock rifle for the 2nd time in his hands off that respawn. SnakeBite trying to push StelluR out here. StelluR gonna get tickled, gonna get prodded. No smile on his face as Bound tries to poke from the LR tunnel as well. Look at the pressure now coming in onto Frosty. He gets taken down. And even though FaZe did win that first hill, the rotate in general has been won by FaZe. It's a 1v1 on the map right now. Royal 2 versus Legend. Legend has the repulse in the back pocket. 2 of the best shots in the game. One historical, one a little bit newer to the scene, but both of them decide just to pay their respects.
I don't understand how Royal 2 stays alive there and how FaZe even comes out with a player alive there on a 1v1. It's really good work from the other players on FaZe as well to simply keep Royal 2 alive in the yard and now continue to contest this hill. This looked like it might have been Spacestation running away with this hill, but there's still a driveway and yard battle here.
Damage coming in from Legend here, but not quite connecting with the headshots. He's going to go for the trade, but Renegade will win that one, and that's a difference maker, right? If he hits a couple of headshots in that situation, then Legend blows the setup open from FaZe, gives them the number advantage, and they can step into that hill, but instead it's Renegade who keeps holding forward. StelluR, a difficult target to take down at the best of times. It's a 2v2 as Camo comes up, Royal 2's gonna grab it.
I love that from Renegade. He just pushed him further back into snipe, and the reason he did it is because Camo was popping and the hill was finishing at yard. It's really good forward aggression from Renegade. Yes, he only gets 1 kill at posters, but the damage by pushing StelluR all the way back to S2 ensured that they would lock down both the Camo and the hill. Just like that, FaZe is leading 2-0.
If Spacestation know anything though, 2-0 could be flipped around very, very quickly. That's exactly what happened to them, but FaZe look like, from this restart, that they figured out exactly how they want to play this game type against this opposition. Royal 2 on the hunt right now, looking for more kills. He'll find one here in blue.
And as you see, it only took about less than 60 seconds off the game clock for that second hill, so it was FaZe not just getting the job done, but getting the job done in a very efficient manner, which is something we keep a very close eye on when we talk about this FaZe roster. So far, so good.
Great shots from Royal 2, no surprise to see it. Has that thrust as well still. Waiting for that to come back. Finishes the kill onto Bound, a 2v2 on the map again. But FaZe know at this point that they have the control of the pace of the game. They can afford not to step in that hill until they feel fully comfortable to do so. 1 minute 50 left on that clock. They can play for these kills. They can play for the space. As long as no Spacestation member is inside of that hill, FaZe control everything.
World 2 just getting a bit of damage here. 2 are dead. He gets taken down, though, so off the respawn. It's 3 dead for the side of FaZe. SnakeBite's going to be a spawner. They're going to have to figure out and concoct quite a push here. They're outslaying 39-29, but let's get into a listen in with FaZe Clan to see how they put a push together.
Legend, one in soda, Legend.
Yo, we glass. 2 shot hill.
One in glass on that.
Yo, camel shock and 5. Camel shock and 5.
Tram one hit, tram one hit.
Yo, good on. Come in. One shot silo. Silo dead.
Nice glass.
Yo, posters are top mid right now.
One in time in. Eco, might be U-turn, John. Might be U-turn.
Yeah, and loop as well. One shot silo.
Make it a flank, man.
Yeah, the triple flank. Come on. One shot mid. Nice, PJ. Another one. Keep it. Silo.
Shocking Legend hotel shocking.
Dip dead. Yo, hotel. Yo, LR, PJ, LR. You yard. Bounce LR. LR, PJ, LR. Could have dropped.
Drop out somewhere, guys.
I don't see him, man. Drop me one. Nice, PJ. Holy fuck. Can anybody play this?
2 LR.
Yeah, they're stacked. They're both weak. Buy time.
LR and soda.
One LR.
You win tram, John. One tram. Behind you.
Save.
One in hill.
Yo, shoot hill when you guys want. Yeah. I got you. Last two hill, guys. Last two hill. They're both weak.
Hotel side.
Hotel side. Good room.
I got
Hey, blue.
There's one in blue. One in blue.
Top gold, guys. Top gold,
Died. Fire's dead. Another one on Matt.
No one fires. Yeah, I got you. Keep playing this shit, guys. More time we can waste, the better.
Bottom mid, they're gonna mark it.
Kill bottom mid.
Brad, I'm playing for this.
We can dip. 200.
LR killed me.
Play to waste their time. Yo, repost down dip. Yo, top gold weak.
Where's he going, bro? Where's he going?
As finesse as possible. No, he's top mid, John. I see him.
Out the comms and 30 seconds left in this game for FaZe Clan to close this out, but Spacestation are just a hair's breadth away from making this 2-1.
Beautifully done there. I was so lucky on the listening to have that timing. We'll have a chance to break it down, but with only 17 seconds left, FaZe have played this beautifully in the late game.
However, they're now losing numbers. StelluR's going to win that fight, and SSG have a chance. It's a slim one, but it is at least a little bit of light maybe for them to make this game interesting. They're inside that hill. They will cap it. 9 seconds left in this game. Can they get their feet in the hill?
That's the question. Can they get there? It's not going to be easy hill to hold. Keep an eye on the kill. 3 dead. That really should be it.
That's going to be it. 4 seconds left. Last player is in front of Renegade. He'll give the information to the rest of FaZe exactly where he is, and FaZe will strike first here in our winner semifinals.
And how about that listening? Off the first spawn rotation, FaZe was in a lot of trouble. They weren't making it happen just yet, but most importantly, you heard the coach Royal One saying, guys, continue to burn the clock here. Huge credit to, you see what SnakeBite did? He repulses from the truck to get away from the cafe angle to go towards dip to get the hotel kill. Beautiful, very specific angle plays coming in to make sure that they stop the hill before it's finished, and they kept Spacestation fighting for the hotel, for the cafe, and for dip for so long, what felt like minutes of play. Absolutely beautiful late game management from FaZe.
You want another example, burning a little bit of time off the clock and certainly getting inside of the head of a player? Wheel 2 inside of blue.
Yes.
No shields for what felt like 30 seconds or so. I thought at one point Lqgend was going to start throwing dollar bills at him because that pole toss was going on far too long for him to enjoy.
It was going on forever. Beautiful, as you say, from Royal 2. Throughout that entire game, and especially in that moment as well, just eating so much time off the clock and making Lqgend just sit in cafe for far longer than he wanted to, without a doubt. As we said, FaZe looked completely different here. This was the moment we were on the listening, right at these exact moments of the game. And it was really good slaying control coming in for SSG, and you thought it was going to be it, but here it was. Look how they stopped them on the doorstep of the hill. And big kills coming in from Renegade as well there, and in the end, they get their 3 dead on the rotation. They force SSG to get quite desperate in that hotel push, and they will take game number 1 with a score of 2-1. FaZe leading SSG 1-0.
Hey, Halo World Championship, baby. We don't know what's going to happen, but FaZe will strike first. Now, moving into Slayer Livefire as our next game, and boy, am I excited to see what player gets their hands on that sniper rifle that's going to be up top middle. Taking a look at some of the FaZe stats from this season, not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Not too bad at all. Look at the average margin. When they win big.
Don't you forget about FaZe Clan. As we said at the Halo World Championship, There's a lot to look at here. Look at Livefire Slayer, 7-1 in 2024. Quite a margin as well at this level to be a 5.8 kill margin on your victories. 9-1 in their last 10 Slayers and 29-9 overall. And you might have been counting out FaZe this year. Don't forget, they're at a Halo World Championship. They are your defending world champions in the same exact building that we are in right now on the same exact main stage. They've hoisted a World Championship trophy. They're looking to do the same again.
This is a very interesting statistic as well to show, you know, a lot of credit is given to these two for their leadership. You know, the way that they talk in game, communicate about how their teams move around the map. Well, they also get the job done when it comes to the kills. You're looking at both sides, both positive when we're looking at the KDs on either side at the moment in these Slayers. So they know how to get it done. The different branches they have to their game, I love this because it really does show it's not just the tag of you are a leader, you are the person who is making the play calls. In game, they produce results as well.
Without a doubt. I mean, these guys are consistently putting up the numbers that they need, as you said, to not only be known as those roles, but also be the in-game leaders as well, that fans and teammates alike will look to in moments like this. FaZe Clan leading SSG 1-0. And just in case you haven't been following this year, but you know these names, don't forget, these two teams could easily be our grand final here. So to already have them facing off against one another in a winner's semifinal just tells you what's at stake.
Moments away from game number 2. Interesting. I wonder what the psyche was like for FaZe Clan coming into this event. It's very, very rare throughout Halo history in the last 5, 6, 7 years that a team that features Royal 2, SnakeBite, hasn't been talked about by some people as being in a grand final as a Halo World Championship. After the season they've had, you can maybe understand why some players, some teams, some fans would be understanding of that. But I think that just lights a fire under them. I think that is exactly the fuel that they needed coming into the Halo World Championship to try and prove people wrong. And yes, there is a long, long road to go, but I think we've got to just reiterate, the last time that these gentlemen were on this stage, they lifted the Halo World Championship trophy.
That's right. You know, as soon as they touched down here in Seattle just a few days ago, they had that feeling, right? They remember what happened the last time they were in this city. They remember what happened the last time they were on this stage. And yes, it's been a rocky year for them without a doubt, but they have not forgotten what they accomplished here and what they've also returned here to do again.
Like I mentioned, a lot of steps still have to be walked on that road to getting their hands on the Halo World Championship trophy for a second year in a row, but first game away from Spacestation is certainly going to be a good one for them, just to, like you say, rekindle those good feelings, those good memories, those fond memories, as we take a look once again at what we have to come in this series. And you get the feeling, Andy, that we are at least going to see Strongholds recharge, and more than likely we're going to go to that Game 5 Slayer Streets.
I get the feeling, and I also have a hope that we might get there. That would be
selfish.
Yeah, very selfishly, I think, and also for everyone in the building, everyone watching at home, I hope we get there. FaZe, though, they've got the opportunity to get us out of here even sooner in terms of how this series may go. And you can kind of tell on the looks of the players on SSG when we were just in those players' camps. There's a lot on the line in this series, and neither team wants to drop to the elimination bracket because the teams that you will find down there are also out for blood, and we've already seen things getting mixed up in the elim bracket.
Crazy to think as well, the only two teams in Halo Infinite to win an event from the elimination bracket are the two teams who are sat on this stage right now. So whatever the outcome of this series is, you wouldn't be surprised to see either side lifting a trophy when it comes to that final moment on Sunday. Into game 2 then we find ourselves, and Renegade from FaZe is going to find that snipe immediately, but only gets to fire one bullet in vain.
And as we said earlier, FaZe fans, of course, going to be very happy with not only what they saw in game number 1, but the way that game number 1 was handled. And it felt like, as we said, that they just woke up as 3 will fall for FaZe off the opening. The first 3 kills going to SSG.
And they get control of the camo site. However, Frosty managed to run away, scoot away with that sniper rifle. So SSG are going to have to be a little bit careful on how they play this one. That jiggle peek again from Bound. Gets damage, doesn't take damage. Frosty with the sniper is still making this interesting though. Frosty going to be challenged now by Bound. He hits the body. Frosty's coming back for more. Frosty, a little bit of help came in there from Royal 2 on the big door. But the camo, I think, is still available. You can see everybody's just running at each other at the moment, trying to get the better of the numbers. And StelluR says, that's all cool. You create the space. I'll grab the power up.
In the end, FaZe able to get an extra kill at house. So they keep the game within 2. But as you say, most importantly and most notably, it is going to be StelluR and SSG that come away with the camo. Let's see how he manages this push.
Eco found one. be traded out by StelluR. SnakeBite's weak at the back of this pillar as well, and it should be another kill being picked up here by StelluR. He will find it indeed, and now the support comes. Look at the cavalry arriving just in front of StelluR saying, you've done your job, now we keep you alive.
Beautifully done there by StelluR. Let's not forget he had 2 spikes and 2 frags he could have used in that battle, but he's so disciplined. He knows he's going to win that peak battle, and even if he had taken the time to throw a grenade, a player like SnakeBite's going to catch you out. But instead, StelluR able to just win that one cleanly. But still, as quickly as we say that, still just 9-7, a 2-kill game as FaZe answers back.
So fascinating to watch these two teams in this game type. It's all about the first pick. It's all about first damage. And then off the back of it, you're going to see teams flood. And there you go. There's the first kill. Eco gets a second. And now SSG will just run you down. They will try and find those next kills. SnakeBite down to no shields, but escapes with his life. Eco finds another one, though. And finally, he will fall. So Spacestation, knowing they have numbers on the map that right now aren't thinking map control. They're thinking get numbers into fights, find 2v1s, and put the pressure on. Now it's 14-9.
And they do it so well, as you say, to get that 5-kill lead. It was just a 2-kill lead, but it's really, really good continued aggression that came out when they got the first 2 kills. As you said, they continued applying that pressure, and now it's a 6-kill game.
Still a 6-kill game, but it's going to turn into 7 in a few moments' time. However, no, it's not, because SnakeBite with a remote detonation from downtown keeps Royal 2 alive, who then comes back to get a trade himself, and we find ourselves now with a little bit of a tighter game. Lqgend has to QT out, recognizing that it was not worth the risk taking that fight.
See what he's able to do. StelluR also probably going to take a quick jump here to see Plat. Yes, indeed. So they're going to find a battle here back tower in just a moment's time.
2 players from FaZe in and around where Lqgend finds himself right now. He found one. And if he knows there's another one, no, he did not. Renegade falls from the heavens, and with that camo, gets that back smack.
Let's see what he does here. Game now within 3. Let's not forget, it was just 16-10. So FaZe does so well to get 3 kills back on the board, and now make that 4 kills. It's just a 2-kill game.
Well, there's frustrating moments there for Eco as well. He probably thinks he's got the better Renegade. He's got that first shot, but the camo of Renegade just pokes around the corner and goes, hey, let's make this a little bit unfair in the favor of my team. Uses that repulse just to scoot up and above where those grenades are going to be. And now FaZe are very much back into this, a 2-kill difference between the 2 teams.
The repulse, of course, also taking him out of the sight line, which is really well done. In the end, he's taken down, does not have the help he needs. Let's see if FaZe can flood. Looks like the answer right now is no. 23-17, 3 will fall for FaZe.
Frosty last alive, SSG making a little bit of a run now. The gap opens up a little bit more between the 2 teams. Now a 6-kill differential as Renegade and Royal 2 will combine. At least to find one to chip away at that. Lqgend and SnakeBite will trade at the back of the tower. StelluR is still here. Renegade is going to try and chase him down. StelluR decides it's time for me to try and get back to my teammates and just play my life for now.
All 8 players up on the map here, and now once again we return to a 5-kill lead, 24-19. Let's see what SSG could do here. It's a listen in with Spacestation game.
Guys,
Train, no weak.
I made it. One shot training. One shot training, roll 2. Run shot training still. 3 dead. Snake let's play left. I one A.
QT is up.
Dummies. Shot cut. Yeah, they spawned A. One spawned A behind me.
I'm going tower.
Dummies.
Back up.
I can't.
Top tower.
Camo going dummy door right now. Dummy door into top tower. Top tower. They cut top mid.
Top tower still.
They're gonna be screens. One shot me cut. One top tower. They're gonna be screens, guys.
That's right. Stuck.
Shot training. Stuck. Let's make cut.
Cement.
Camo and pie. Yeah, 7, watch us.
Dice.
Stay alive.
Dice on me. Dice on me. Try to kill me. You're dead, Brown. You're dead. Kill me. Pillar door. SnakeBite.
I'm going top end.
Keep pound alive. Watch your put him in.
Okay.
Look top mid.
One get the
Two top mid. I think.
Let's do something. Back to
One get the mirror. Keep on guessing.
That's yeah, agreed. I got another one dice.
Pushing back green, guys. One back green. Training.
Down the micro screens.
Look at me cut. I'm going to Lqgend.
Weak dice.
Nice in top tower, guys. Big cut. One shot, Bound. One shot. Top tower, Lqgend.
Two cut. One coming. Two dumber.
Yeah, whole team already.
Nice.
7 kills the difference between the 2 teams, and Spacestation not only looking to take over this game, but maybe equalize this series and make this game 3 very, very interesting. 6 kills now the difference.
Was a 2v2 in the map momentarily there, and great camo control as well. There's a few things that Elamite said. First of all, he said, just keep Bound alive. Also, you heard him say something like, keep him guessing. Look at StelluR's numbers right now. 16-7 in a game that they lead by 6. Unreal.
He wants to snipe as well. Instead, it's going to be his teammate who collects it. Lqgend now A bit quiet game from him, 7 and 10, but give him a few sniper rifle bullets to make some noise, and you'll certainly hear it on either side of this stage. Frosty gonna be challenging. Survives for now. Another challenge going to arrive on the top tower. Hits the body, but not good enough. Royal 2 will survive.
2v2 on the map. If Royal 2 stays alive here, things stay interesting as well. The bomb almost does it to Eco. Eco's wise to it. Those kills will be traded out, but we are in the territory now of the game where trades really will continue to favor
17.
SSG. StelluR somehow on 17 kills when the next closest is 11.
I said that he was going to have a moment in this, and certainly a game in this series. He's too good a player not to. Well, he's having exactly that in his game number 2. 17 kills for StelluR for Spacestation. And that is carrying them closer and closer towards tying this series up at 1-1. However, FaZe's not out of this. This isn't a huge lead to try and overcome. We've seen swings. If you get a 2-3 dead situation, then FaZe can certainly make a run towards the end of this game. SSG just trying to slow it down, though, making sure that they're in positions where they can guarantee some trades.
Absolutely. The crowd also here, let's go FaZe Clan chant in the room because they know that FaZe can absolutely bring this back. They've done way crazier in terms of comebacks. Now, still 43-37 with 4:36 left. Everything to play for.
SnakeBite's got the sniper rifle as well. Look at this route from StelluR. He was trying to sneak under a couple of line of sights and manages to find one. That now brings them within 6 kills of closing this game out. SnakeBite can't quite connect. Got to keep his eyes on this camera, though. Has to stop SSG getting this, because if they do, that could be curtains.
Down by 6. They need really good set of plays here. Bound, I think, steals the camo.
Let's get again.
That could be daggers here. Legend somehow gets away with that as well. It won't be traded out, but 46-40. Bound with the camo certainly could end it here if he plays this correctly.
Taking a very interesting route as well. They would have seen Bound escape. But they certainly don't see him top middle at the moment. Damage being done by Bound. Now he tries to relocate, calls that out to his teammates. However, look at the kill feed. Frosty and SnakeBite will be there. Royal 2 has no idea where Bound is, and now it's just 3.
What is Bound do here? Behind enemy lines, trying to make something happen. Solo! This is what Bound does! Flies in, 49 on the board.
Eco finds another, and now SSG swarm. They hunt down that final kill, and they will find it. SSG tie up this series at 1-1 off the back of the camo plays coming in from Bound.
Wow. Bound loses 2 teammates. Doesn't worry about it. He goes into a 1v2 at tower, isolates the battle in the back of the tower, does his best Owen Wilson impression. Behind enemy lines, picks up a solo kill. The rest of the team floods C-Plat, and they get that 50th kill on Mud. That is why you have a player like Bound on your team, right? Against all odds, where he's already taken damage, he'll fly into a 1v1 with a commando and come out with a kill that he has no business getting. 50-43 is your final score in game number 2. SSG takes it.
Take a look back at some of the highlights from that game number 2 in the series as well. You're looking back on big moments, not a huge amount of like big snipes being hit. It was such a tactical, it felt like tactical warfare between the 2 teams, right? It was slow it down, wait for the first damage, wait for the first pick, then we go, then we flood, then we try and make sure that we come out of this engagement with numbers and the kills on our side. StelluR though, I mentioned he'd have a few things to say about which way this series goes. He ends up in that game with 17 kills to his name, the 10 deaths, a positive 7. But the impact that he was having throughout that game and just finding sneaky angles and making sure that no damage got away without being converted.
It has to be said as well, StelluR not only leads his team in kills by such a margin, he's tied for the most assists as well. He goes 17, 10, and 8. Excuse me, 18 and 10. Whatever data we're getting is wrong. 18. Don't want to sell him short.
Yeah, sorry, StelluR, we owe you a kill.
We owe you a kill, and we've made up for it. Speaking of making up for it, SSG's made up for that game number 1. We're now tied up 1-1. Take a look at some CTF stats between these 2.
These are the players who are usually doing the most of that flag running and the captures for their team. This is from the Halo WC. This is from the tournament itself. You can see the 3 flag caps per side for Lqgend and SnakeBite. One more steal, but the CTF KD, I mean, if you've got players who are running flags, capping flags with those kind of KDs...
Those are crazy. That's a crazy stats
You're
card.
going to win games.
That is, okay, normally you get one of those 3. Someone is either capping flags, stealing flags, or they have a massive KD. But instead, both of those players are blowing out the water in all 3 categories with a ton of steals, a ton of caps, and an insane KD. Talk about an all-around CTF player. Lqgend and SnakeBite just popping off for their team.
Very, very impressive stuff. I mean, it's crazy. If you take away those flag caps, you take away the flag pulls, and you just put the KDs up there, but like, wow, these guys have looked really good in CTF game times. I want to talk a little bit about Forbidden as well, though, because this is such a fast-paced game type. This is a game type which is going to show us what level we're expecting to see from these two teams. Because I was going to say, if you look at two teams in the Halo Championship Series who are running a flag as for go dead, and they have a clean run home with everyone on respawn, these two teams, if you ask me, like, who's going to double cap? Who's most capable of doing it? We've seen both of these teams do it. On Aquarius, we've seen them do it on Forbidden. Yeah. So going 4 dead here for either side, you cannot. It is simply like, rule number 1, whatever we're doing right here, do not go 4 dead.
Yep. This stats card, another example of just how close these two teams are. In 2024, in CTF all up, this is across all CTF game types. Very, very similar records, 17-7 and 16-7 respectively between SSG and FaZe. 3rd and 4th as well in the category. But I agree, Mark. If you said which of these two teams can double cap on Forbidden CTF, I would say yes. That's it. I would say absolutely. That could totally happen here.
I would provide you with the adequate amount of caffeine required for you to answer a problem. But it's just a crazy statistic from both sides, and they two teams who just statistically are outstanding. They have redefined what a role is in Halo over the last 3 or 4 years. It's not about being the objective player anymore. There's no such thing as the objective player. It is who is furthest up the map and who is in position to do that work at the time. And then for the rest of the map, if you're not that guy, you're not that guy. You know, Halo's evolved past that now, where you have tendencies as a player, but everybody knows the responsibilities they have to win games of Halo. You can't rely on that player anymore. Everybody needs to be able to do everything. And I think those CTF stats for both SnakeBite and Lqgend kind of give the perfect indication of the type of player you need to be in modern day Halo to have success.
I agree, it's evidence of that. Normally you only get, if you're the player pulling, you are very rarely, the player that's capping. But they're doing both of those things while putting up unreasonable numbers at this level of professional Halo. And they're gonna have an opportunity to add to that tally here in game number 3, CTF Forbidden.
Gonna be a snipe battle to start this one off, and that certainly gets the juices flowing on either side of this stage. StelluR gonna be the one you would imagine who's gonna try and push for it first on the side of Spacestation. On the other side, always interested to see who does go for it. Will it be Royal 2? Looks like he was thinking about it, but not gonna get the chance to get his hands on that weapon because StelluR is starting as you would expect.
I love that from StelluR, just playing whack-a-mole. He doesn't care how many times he shoots, he's gonna get the kill there. It might have taken 3, but he takes down Royal 2 off with a tough angle on the Mohawk. And they're going to work together here on their own Mohawk to try to flush out this kill.
Lost Renegade, though. No idea where he went. Finds him. Eco will find him. That's going to be 3 dead. Royal 2's just come off respawn. If you want to see how far in advanced SSG have been on the map after picking up those kills, FaZe haven't even moved their sniper rifle off the stand yet. It's still there, and I'm pretty sure the Lqgend just picked it up.
This could be big here if they're able to maintain snipe control with both of the rifles. That would be massive. And FaZe knows they need to fly out of their own base. They cannot allow this setup to start to choke them.
There's a body. Not going to be the headshot, though. Now you're going to see Lqgend finally taken down. 2 players from FaZe decide we can double up here and try and clean out our snipe part. And look at the pressure now that StelluR's under. One thing you can do with StelluR, we know the phenomenal ability he has, but if you can focus in on him and you can try and make the shots as difficult as possible, he's still going to hit some, but it's going to be less than if you're not pressuring it.
Renegade picks up 2 there. As you said, if StelluR hit both of those shots just now onto the open ramp, we would see them pulling and running a flag right now. But instead, as we've always said, it's just the smallest of margins here in the current meta of this game. FaZe is able to get out of their base, out of their open ramp, and I love the expedience with which they did that. They are now pulling a flag of their own.
Eco shields are broken as well. Frosty doing some great support work here, just to make sure anyone pushing up is going to take a little bit of damage, but he gets cut down by Eco initially. The flag was moving momentarily and still is moving, but SSG may be in a position to stop this one as they do have some presence top middle. Overshield is coming up as well. Lqgend, your job is to make sure that that flag is looked after. The rest of SSG trying to get that overshield. 3 were dead here, and the hot spawns do come in. So this is going to be a little bit awkward for SSG, but they do get this return.
They get the return. They get the flag off the stand, but you have to think that was more of a safety pull, just to kind of pull attention away from the re. They do get the return. That flag will almost certainly return as well. However, most importantly for SSG, SnakeBite does not round that corner single-handedly, and we're tied up 12 kills apiece, still 0-0.
Trying to wonder where that overshield went, if it was played off the map, if someone had it burned, if someone just fell, but it's FaZe who are 2 dead for now. Maybe 3 dead in a few seconds' time if Renegade's not careful. Tucks his tail between his legs and manages to scarp it back to the Mohawk. Eco's hunting him down, though. 1v1 here between 2 players. Oops. You can see that Eco went for the trade, but Renegade just had that first shot.
A little bit of extra damage there coming in, but not allowed the trade to come in. Threat Seeker goes down. We'll get some more info off of that. And Renegade looks to stay alive in the back of the base. There's going to be a lot of this in this game. Just looking to try to be a nuisance to stay alive and force the enemy towards you.
Both snipers are up. Did they forget about Renegade? They'll know he's around here somewhere. Renegade furiously pinging. Eco. Oh, big win. 1v1 now, 1-to-1 now when it comes to those individuals.
I was going to say, how about that? I mean, how often do you see that as Eco's going to win not just the battle as 3 will fall for FaZe, but also he'll win the sniper. Oh my god, fast pull coming in.
Two snipes. For SSG, they've got 2 snipes in this situation. They've got the FaZe snipe, they've got their own. Eco can't quite connect on Frosty. But now he knows where the pressure is going to come in. Nobody in front of him means that he's got to be careful of that main ramp. SSG looking for a few more kills before they try and force this one.
Ooh, SnakeBite staying alive there is huge because they have not continued, even though with 2 snipes, and even with this control, the flag run has not continued. Even though it looked like SSG had every piece of the puzzle, in the end, they cannot get the flag off of the Mohawk. It will stay, and it will return. We're still tied here after 4 minutes of play.
They see SSG trying to keep the pressure up, though. Even though FaZe make a really good defensive play. StelluR's going to have that sniper rifle himself. Overshield is coming up once more. Frosty going to challenge. No scopes! Is what this man eats for breakfast. That is another incredible shot from StelluR.
Don't give him 3 chances because he's going to hit him. We've seen it now too many times, not just in the season, but in this game as well. 3 dead. Flag we're going to start for StelluR as well.
Here's the snipes, here's the no-scope, gets the kill to open this map up, and now he is running the flag. Can he get past this pillar though? No! Just gets cut down before he rounds that corner. However, look at the power on the map that SSG have right now. Lqgend, he had a snipe, he's got the overshield. He's going to try and force his one home because he knows he can eat these bullets on his route back to base.
What a route as well, what a route. He gets a snipe ammo on the way back as well, but he gets pinched from his own hut. Let's see how he plays this.
Spacestation got to look for some kills here. They know that they can't run this one in without pressurizing. Oh, stick comes in from Frosty out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, Frosty with the double. SnakeBite gets to stop on the stand and FaZe will pull.
3 dead, where's StelluR? StelluR's still in the back of the base. They're going to jump with the read here. StelluR might not even be able to fight through this. A return's going to come in as well.
It's a hero. It's a hero.
Look at FaZe, they go away. Frosty gets the stick and the defense, and SnakeBite turning the corner as well.
An inch away from capping the first flag. Frosty shuts it down. SnakeBite runs the counter, and now FaZe find themselves up by 1. We talk about moments. We talk about how close this game is. That is the example to show anyone when it comes to defining how close these series can be.
Unbelievable. This is high heart rate Halo here. Spacestation is outslaying 29-27, but they forfeit the first flag of the game off of incredible defense. Bound answers back with a no-scope of his own, a 2-foot slide to regain control of top mid, but my God, has this series ever started off with a bang?
my head went to exactly the same place there. That was a 2-footed sniper shot. Lqgend will clean the damage up from Bound. Overshield coming up again in a few seconds. Time! Frosty takes an enforced nap there on the nap, and now he is going to be in a position to grab this overshield. The flag is running. Renegade is coming off spawn. SSG need to make this run work.
That was 3 dead as well. And not only does this flag have the potential to come back home, but also this is double cap territory based on Bound's overshield. FaZe knows that. We'll see if they just let this flag go. I think they will.
Yeah, FaZe are giving this one up. They know that they're not going to be in a position to shut this one down, and now they are petrified inside of their base, knowing they don't have the overshield, knowing that flag is going to go home. It's 1-to-1, but they're worried about being 2-to-1.
2 will fall for FaZe. Bound has to isolate that 1v1. FaZe does well to eliminate the overshield, but as you can tell, as we said, they let the flag go. They're going to hold their hut side, and even though a trade comes in there, FaZe is going to be happy it was only 1 flag. StelluR now very dangerous territory, top mid with the snipe. Frosty trying to sneak a flag, but Frosty, my God, StelluR goes surgical with the back of the next snipe.
Now people are warmed up. Now people are playing like it's a Halo World Championship, and StelluR goes StelluR mode. It's another one. He even lights, switches to the Bound and goes, it might be easier with this. Royal 2 gets bodied, Renegade gets taken down, and the flag is moving for SSG.
This is unbelievable. StelluR doing StelluR things. We've only been in the hut the whole time. Guess what? Off screen, the flag was being run the entire time. 2-to-1 in favor of SSG.
An absolute whirlwind of the last 30 or 40 seconds coming in from SSG. They answer back in the most violent and grotesque way possible. StelluR just takes over.
StelluR hitting everything that moved in that sequence. And before you know it, we didn't even get to see the flag on the way back because StelluR was putting on such a show. Eco now thinking about pulling another flag, and it could be the final flag of the game.
Two dead, doesn't quite hit the G-slide. And is that going to cost him in this situation? Bound gets one, but Royal 2 and Renegade will get some kills themselves. So FaZe at least buy themselves a little bit of space and a few seconds just to breathe on the map. But you can't forget about the Frenchman. You can't forget about Lqgend. He's cleaned out the hut. And they get a touch on this flag.
Let's see how he plays this one. SnakeBite knows he needs to make sure he picks up these kills. Getting pinched though by both Bound and Lqgend.
Does have the overshield to play with though. SSG look very aware of this themselves. Lqgend will be taken down. Bound is trying to just draw the attention away. And the flag will be returned. So FaZe live to fight another day in this map, number 3.
It has to be mentioned, after 6 minutes of play, only 1 flag was on the board. Since then, we've seen an additional 2 flags scored. Things have just ramped up unbelievably off of very strong and highlight reel slaying control from both of these teams. SSG still leads 2-1 with 3:15 left on the clock.
That was a really, really big kill coming in from Renegade. If he doesn't get that one, it's 3 dead. Everyone's spawning in the back of the base. StelluR is running towards your flag. So that kill, it's not just a kill to stop progress. It's a kill to allow the rest of FaZe to get on the map. 2 dead here for Spacestation. More good defensive plays coming in from FaZe. Sniper rifles will be on the map as well. So keep your eyes peeled for a couple of players who are looking to peel themselves.
Got to also check in on the total slays. As I mentioned, they were tied at around 25. SSG is now outslaying 53-40.
Seen this movie before. Lqgend will find one. Renegade's down on the side of FaZe. Eco is down on the side of Spacestation.
Some SSG chance in the building as well. And as you've heard from StelluR himself, he loves the support and only makes him play better, which is honestly a really scary thought. Hits shots like that as well, gets a double. It's 2v2 on the map.
SnakeBite still has the sniper rifle here for FaZe though. He's just been spotted out. Overshield coming up in around 10 seconds time as well. This sniper battle could decide where this overshield goes, and maybe with 2 minutes left on this clock, just where this game goes and where this series starts to swing as well. Pressure from Frosty. StelluR knows he has to get damage onto this overshield. 2 dead on the side of SSG. It has to be a defensive play, and now it's not about controlling the overshield, it's about stopping my flag from moving. He finds the perfect shots onto Renegade to do just that.
That's big bounce. Somehow stays alive top middle as well. There's still no overshield grab. Threat Seeker will go down to get some info as well. Now here comes the push from StelluR, gonna push past the overshield.
Frosty, no shields. Frosty gets the help at just the last second. 2 dead, and SnakeBite still has this sniper rifle. Overshield is still up. It's been around 30 seconds, maybe even more.
Oh no! Entire overshield gets played. The sniper gets played. SnakeBite tries to go just onto the diving board there, try to go courtyard, but he gets taken down and punished. And was that FaZe's last hope? That's the question.
1 minute 14 left on the clock. FaZe have to be the aggressors here. They're the ones who need this flag cap. Frosty will find one, but Lqgend will find one himself. Royal 2 and Frosty looking to overextend. Eco's job here is just do damage, stay alive, get information to allow Bound to move up and maybe collapse on some of this damage. Royal 2, big fight for him to win. He does, but there is the immediate trade.
2v2 on the map. Lqgend makes sure he stops the pull. Now he immediately turns FaZe to fight the street, and also knows there's going to be some hut and open ramp presence as well.
SSG are trying to build the wall here. They're trying to make sure that nobody can get through from FaZe. They want to make sure all angles are watched. No overextenders. Look at Lqgend. He's even checking the rat tunnel here. Gets the comms. But Royal 2 was there as we are now into the last 30 seconds of this game.
Most importantly, 3 were dead. They are still dead. Lqgend with a little bit of crafty movement, but more importantly, we're looking at the back of the FaZe base. 16 seconds left. The wall is built, and you don't even know if it's possible for them to get the flag off the stand here. It looks like it's not.
10 seconds is
Royal 2
going to
the
tick
only hope.
past here. Like you say, Royal 2 is the only player, but Bound will find one.
Can you go?
Desperately trying to overextend here. Royal 2 trying to step forward. StelluR will shut it down, and Spacestation will shut it down as well. They turn this series on its head and now lead 2-1.
Answering back with back-to-back caps, and in the end, nearly outslaying by 20. They outslay 71-52. And as you might expect, most of those kills coming in the late game. They were trailing 1-0 after 6 minutes of play, and instead, they find not 1 but 2 flag caps, along with amazing slaying control coming out of players like StelluR. He goes 21-12 in the game. Bound also with 20 kills on the board.
When When you look at the total kills as well, 71 to 51 in the favor of Spacestation Gaming and StelluR again. We're going to keep mentioning his name because you have to, as we...
Boy, observers are having fun here.
Even with the overshield, you can't survive that one, but I mean, that's what, 17/18 kills, still to be confirmed in that game number 2
play
from
from
StelluR,
Legend.
and now 21 in this one. Crazy stats from StelluR.
Beautifully played there from Legend. Look at the stick, though. This was the stop that kept the game open. Frosty gets that stick from the top of the open ramp, and then amazing effort. Keep in mind, we were already 5 minutes in here with 0 flags on the board. Frosty just jumps the read long enough, gets taken down, but the read will still hit. And then in the end, SnakeBite brings that flag, and it feels like a long time ago when FaZe was leading 1-0, and that's because so much happened thereafter.
And then it was the StelluR show. I mean, he picked up this sniper rifle and he went to work, cleared a path, carved a path through all of FaZe Clan for SSG to get that second flag on the board. That moment you were talking about, right? It's you know, you look at SnakeBite in that position, it's like there's not much else he can do there.
No,
he has to make sure that SSG don't get it,
yeah.
But you could also understand, like in the back of his head, he's thinking, we need this to make progress on the map. It's just, you know, SSG, you have to give credit in those situations for playing the situation so well.
You really do. And SSG let that overshield sit there top mid. They let it sit there. Take a look at the stronghold stats.
21 and 1. And if you look at the bottom, not of planet Earth.
They're intergalactic. The Space
They
Station.
really are.
21-1 is insane, with a 95.5% win percentage as a result.
Percentage on stronghold.
How about the margin? The margin is disgusting as well. A 114-point margin at this level of professional Halo is unheard of. But that's what you get when you have SSG. And this will be our game number 4. Recharge.
Can FaZe Clan find a way to change that record? Can they find a way to maybe just chip away at some of those huge differentials between those statistics we just saw and send us towards a final game of the series? FaZe need to find something from somewhere as we head into our game 4 here, and Renegade will pick up the first kill of the game.
You're going to need to see FaZe find a level of comfort in this game, right? They cannot let SSG dictate the entirety of the game. As we've seen in a few games in this series, FaZe needs to make sure they are the ones calling the shots, and they are the ones dictating the pace of play here in game number 4.
Discipline and efficiency, the name of the game here for FaZe, and there is no game type where discipline and efficiency is going to be tested more than Recharge Stronghold. StelluR's already trying to work on B, but it is going to be early scoring here for FaZe Clan. They have a momentary A-B setup, but still with this camouflage. Royal 2 is going to step into C and try and flip it. Elsewhere, SSG winning the battles in and around B, and now around C as well. FaZe are 3 dead.
3 dead here, and the first 6 kills will go their way. However, SSG answers right back. And now going to look to flip C. They will start scoring. However, it's an early lead for FaZe, a strong one, but they're now going to have to wrestle back control.
Really interesting position this rebound. Renegade's going to fall for the bait. Renegade not even going to get the trade in that situation. Bound play in the corner, knowing he had the grapple to play with to create some funky angles. Now looking over his teammates' shoulders to keep them alive as well. Lqgend will find another, and SSG will continue to score as Bound pulls on the Lycra, does his best Spider-Man impression, and flies towards the pipes.
Really well done. He's also going to have the help from Lqgend here. Man, look at what Bound is doing. How about the extra peek shots that he got on SnakeBite as well in tower? And look at this extra damage as well. He's putting on a clinic. 3 dead for FaZe yet again. Bound is everywhere on the map. Make it 4 dead.
It's going to be a triple cap here for SSG, and FaZe have to play off the back foot. How do you break this? No camo for a little bit for them to work around, and Lqgend gets that first pick again. Name of the game here for SSG, watch the crosses, but look at the shots coming in from Frosty and Renegade. They take down Bound. StelluR's on the flank though. As the camo now will pop. FaZe will pick this up, but can StelluR cut down Frosty? No, Frosty will just about hold everything in and get away.
Somehow gets away, but most notably, we only have 13 kills on the board for SSG, but already 78 points. That was a 78-point uncontested run from them. And 1 or 2 more of those and the game's over. 3 dead for FaZe yet again.
3 dead on the side of Spacestation as well, though. Everybody is dead on the map momentarily. 2 spawners will return, and Royal 2 will flip C, but with the spawn coming in at A, SSG will at least have 1 stronghold to work with. Now, B still in the control of FaZe. They will be scoring, but it is going to be a slow burn for them with those points.
They get the opener as well. Keep an eye on Gold. Gold is going to be very important here. You see Frosty's about to get into a battle as well.
Royal 2 now has to turn his attention to B, but there's 2 players stacking it. That's something that SSGs do so well in and around B. It's not usually one player who's stepping in, it's a couple. They stack it, they challenge you. When you think that you've got the best position on the map, and that was another prime example of it there. FaZe will be able to pick up the kills eventually, but you can see how hard they had to work.
Very nicely done here. Lqgend might get the reset on A, which is going to be unfortunate here for World 2. If he can win this battle, though, it'll just be a minor delay. Big trade from Lqgend. In the end, they start to flip A as well. It was 3 dead for SSG, though, so let's go to a listening here with FaZe.
You got a nice kill, PJ. Come back. Yeah, came on 1 is BR. Top of your one shot B. Came on 15, guys. Came on 15.
No, one is last, okay. Can you switch to me or switch?
Yeah, they're gonna have map. They're gonna have some map here.
Mingling.
Came on 10, guys.
Top here, and bottom here.
Bottom beer. Bottom beer. Came on 5.
Are you man? Yo, trip sec.
Are you sorry?
I'm pushing glass.
Camel's up.
2-8.
I killed this guy.
He's kneeling. He's really weak. I can't help you anymore. I'm trying to help you. Top
2-1, bro. 2-1 to burn. And they have shock. too. Yeah, they're gonna have camo shock probably. Yeah, they have camo shock. Yeah.
Neither. I'm going
Neither. When's Neither weak?
Yo, in beer. Kill me. Where's he going, bro? He's on the steps.
Here, I just want A.
Triple on Matt. Sex on Matt.
There's 6. I left A. Go BR me?
Yeah.
One shot BR, bro.
One back.
One shot BR.
Yo, I'm
back blue shot. Okay. Just live it. We have a lot of time.
They have camo and shock, right?
Yeah,
Neither in top end. Yo, Neither still just...
Yeah, they have a switch lock on.
Trying to pull him out a little bit. Bottom A.
Are you back blue? Can you look back blue?
Neither one pipe.
Can you look back blue?
Yeah, I'm one at the... Got shots in both.
One try back blue. I'm free go.
I'm free go. Top red. Glass.
Nice. 3 days. Let's get A probably, right?
Yeah, he didn't go. I'm trying, Brad. I'm one. He's in red on. He's in red on.
Out of the FaZe listening back into the gameplay, and FaZe have found something. A little bit of momentum, a few kills at least, to capture A and C and get themselves scoring. But in and around B, look at StelluR, being that nuisance once more, trying to be the pivot they play around.
You get the feeling that FaZe needed those 3 dead. They find themselves 3 dead right away, immediately, but to stop that scoring, stop that triple cap from Spacestation, at least, as you say, FaZe is able to get just around the 100-point mark off of that most recent hold.
SSG flipping that again, though. A and B are going to be controlled by Spacestation. They're already working on C. They've been a nuisance in and around that. Frosty taken down by Bound as well. And with Royal 2 inside of B, the double will be picked up nice and comfortably as FaZe will find themselves 3 dead once again here at SSG. As the seconds tick by here and the control continues, are getting closer and closer to closing out this series. 185 and rising. FaZe yet to cross the 100-point margin.
Really deadly 3 back-to-back 3 deads there for them has led to a lot of control, continued scoring as well for the side of SSG. Just like that, it's a 100-point lead for them, still 2 dead for FaZe, and they're out slaying now by 8 kills as well. Make it 9.
I mean, the biggest kill in all of those was Renegade. He had that camo, he got taken down. Bound was just focus firing, waiting for it to challenge. The shields hadn't come back, he had that little outline as they were trying to regenerate. Use that to his advantage as he sits in this game at 12 and 9. This double cap, by the way, is absolutely suffocating FaZe. They can't get out of the C spawn.
Not just that, right? It's also 230 on the board as well. You can't even keep up with the scoring that's coming out of SSG. It's still 2 dead for FaZe, and just like that, they're also outslaying by 11. 235 on the board for SSG. This is the home stretch.
SSG have just held FaZe in this spawn for the last 30 seconds or so. And with only 9 points needed, it's desperation coming in now from FaZe. StelluR finds one, Lqgend finds one as well, as SnakeBite tries to desperate, but he's not close enough. Spacestation Gaming will send FaZe to the elimination bracket and send themselves to yet another winners finals.
And they do it with an exclamation point on the end of it. Talk about a way to suffocate a team in a spawn trap. You might not have seen something like that since, I don't know, Halo 3 Amplified TS. That was a suffocating hold in the end. And even though it's a 3-1 win where FaZe showed up in a huge way in that series, you just get the feeling with the way that game ended that Spacestation kind of made a big statement in the series overall with the way they closed out game number 4.
I would agree. I mean, our story coming into this was like, where are FaZe in comparison to what has been the best team this season? Which still seems like off the back of that there is a little bit of a gap between them, and you can understand why one side of that stage has won 3 out of the 4 majors this year. Spacestation will continue in the winner side of the Halo World Championship bracket. They will be one match away from a grand finals now, whereas FaZe Clan have to go on the road. It's pretty treacherous, but one where they won last year from.
I was gonna say, they've done it before. You gotta say a lot for FaZe fans to be proud of in that series, without a doubt. Not only the game #1, but also let's keep in mind StelluR Livefire was close. CTF Forbidden was initially a 1-0 lead in favor of FaZe after 6 minutes of play. So a lot to be proud of for the FaZe roster and FaZe fans, but I have to agree, in the end, it's SSG the clear winner in that series.
Yeah, I mean, those stronghold stats, by the way, you can see exactly why they look like that. I mean, that's a stifling performance from them, and it wasn't just the triple caps, it wasn't the SSG, you know, you write the rulebook of SSG, it's triple cap, it's fast play, it's collapsing on spawns, all this good stuff that we're used to. It's a simple, old school, traditional double cap, holding crosses, and FaZe would just, like you say, absolutely suffocate, could not break out of that. Communication, teamwork, trust.
So time and time again as well. Bound 0 shields, bottom gold. He's still peeking in control, right? He's still dealing the damage. Then he's grappling all the way back to pipes. Then he's dealing damage. He's right into top Ellie as well. Just absolutely beautiful stuff coming in from the entirety of the roster. And I think the teamwork and the team shot specifically out of SSG on that final hold was, I mean, something to behold. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff from SSG. They find themselves now in the winners final. We're gonna go down to the main stage though and hear from SSG themselves. Blaze, who have you got?